Hey guys, you're watching Voxel Tales. My name is Dan, and I've dropped the intro thing, because nobody cares. Last episode we made an ancient debris finding machine and then nearly lost it under a lava lake, so I've had a rethink, and the first thing I'm going to do today is modify the design, so that's not going to be a thing anymore. So, let me grab the glue, make sure it's off. Yep, off. And unglue all this stuff, because if I didn't and removed the blocks, the glue itself would still be there, invisibly waiting to grab something random. And we don't want the Chunk Eater Mark II to be randomly picking up a block because we left some floating glue, now do we? Then we'll recover all the bits and leave us with a nice blank canvas to work from. Except this seat, which I apparently can't pick up with the wrench. You live and learn. And there we go. Obviously I'll leave the chests in, we're still gonna need to collect stuff after all. So my new plan is to use a sticky mechanical piston to push the wall of drills forward and then pull it back to us. That way we can stand in a safe spot and always be able to recover the device regardless of where it's been mining. So we just need a mechanical piston and a slime ball. And a mechanical piston is an andesite casing, a slab, and a piston extension pole. Because this thing is going to be both a cart contraption and a stationary contraption, I need to power it while in stationary mode. And for that I'm going to use a windmill bearing. Also gonna need a rotational speed controller so it can go full speed. These piston extension poles we just mentioned, and probs need a few shafts for linking stuff up. Okay. Over at the shed I grabbed some slabs from the basement, crafted up a mechanical piston, and used my last slime ball to make it nice and sticky. Right, so we'll use an andesite casing to make a bit of separation. Put the sticky piston behind it. Oh well, that's entirely the wrong way up. Nothing the wrench can't fix. There we go. Then we add a few of the extension poles. Eventually there's going to be a whole stack back here. Glue those together so we don't forget. Okay, next. Windmill bearing for power. Into rotational speed controller and large cogwheel. And I'm going to need some wool for the windmill bearing, so quick trip to the basement for my shears. Oh, and I've got a little bit of wool anyway. Fantastic. But is it enough? No. The answer is no, and I need to make a trench to put in the rest of the... Luggage, you bloomin' wazzock! Get out of the way! Move, dipstick! Honestly, can't get the staff. Hello, sheeps. I need to shear you a bit. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I added the Cyber's Better Animal Models mod as a test. The models are more lifelike, but they don't work with the Fresh Animations resource pack, and I don't know which I prefer at this point. Feel free to chime in with opinions in the comments. Also, I just realised that I need to get these sheep some grass access or their wool won't grow back. Bugger. Right, back in my wool hole. And now back out. So athletic these days. Get it all glued together, very important. And the other way. Whoa, easy mouse, calm down. Okay, so I'll turn this on, and we'll also crank the RSC all the way up, and that way if it gets overstressed as it's being assembled, we'll know right away. Chain drive's here? What is going on with my right mouse button? Dan, stop being lazy and make some gearboxes. Right, gearbox in here. Into a couple of chain drives. Into a gearbox, into more chain drives, into a vertical gearbox, and that has overstressed it immediately. So if we swap in our goggle helmet, we see that it's calling for 1024 SU, and we're only providing 512. So we turn it off, and we add more wool blocks. This should be plenty. And we turn it back on to reveal 1536 SU. Perfect. Now we just need a way to make the piston extend and retract, and for that we're going to need a gear shift. Andesite casing, cogwheel, and redstone. Can do. Just like that. And we'll use this lever to operate it. So if I take out this chain drive and replace it with this gear shift, pop on this lever, and boosh, piston goes forward. So in theory, if I flick this lever again, yes, piston comes back. Piston goes out, piston comes back. Feel free to marvel at my engineering genius. So the next step in the plan is to make this thing mobile by turning it into a cart contraption, which might be as simple as adding a couple of andesite casings. Like that. And making sure that it's all glued together. Right, just grab another lever, let's test this thing. Yeah, that's not picking up the front end. Would probably help if I'd glued it on. See, this is why we test. Right, try again, and... there we go, that's got the whole thing. So, when the cart assembler is powered off, it becomes a stationary contraption and the piston wall functions. But with the cart assembler on, we can pick the whole thing up and move it to wherever we need to mine, which in our case is the Nether. So into the Nether I went. Okay, I just put this here, like so, and extend the pole. Alright, should be able to switch it on. Oh yeah, great visuals, Dan. This is the quality content people come to see. Let me just move all this real quick. There, you see? It's working. Ah! Lava! No! I admit, it wasn't a flawless first run. But once I'd established the machine worked, I extended the piston pole some more, picked it up, turned it round, and sent it off going the other way. After the Mark II's inaugural trip, I had enough netherite scrap to coat my axe, and after a couple more successful trips out, I had enough to do my shovel and my katana. Look at that, fully geared up. It was around now, as I admired my achievement, that a small but crucial detail occurred to me. Wait, if my gear's all netherite now, it can only be repaired with netherite or mending, and none of my armour has mending on it. Bugger! Okay, so I need at least 4 copies of mending. I know that the Create Enchanted Industries mod has a printer that can copy enchanted books. That's not the issue. It just needs a copper casing, dried kelp, and an iron sheet to make. That's a doddle, we have all that. The problem is that I need a copy of mending to actually copy, and you can't get mending from an enchanting table. Not to mention that Podnik doesn't have a library, so I can't just get one from a librarian either. I decided for now just to make the printer, at least it felt like progress. And as it uses XP to copy the books, I took it over to the zombie grinder and connected it up to the XP tank. Needs a depot. BRB. Boom. Depot. Quick chicky nuggy test for positioning. Looks good.
You still need a mending book.
Yes, I know. I guess I'm just going to have to talk a villager into being a librarian. So I made a lectern. Picked out a spot for a temporary library. Yeah, this'll do nicely. And then went to find a volunteer. Excuse me, good sir, could I interest you in a job as a librarian?
Nah, I'm good. I'm already a hunter.
Yeah, but that's full of inherent dangers. Imagine if you weren't a hunter.
Well then, I guess I could try my hand at leather work.
Clearly, this wasn't going well, so I had no choice but to pull out the big guns. Right, where is he? There he is. Sir! Clearly, you have reservations, so how about I sweeten the deal with this brand new workstation?
Oh my, that is some fine craftsmanship.
Why, thank you, I made it myself. Now follow me to... No, not that way. Yes, follow me to your new temporary library space. Here it is, step right in, don't be shy.
Don't you think it might be a little small?
Small? No, it's perfect. We're going to do great things here, starting with a mending book. So began the painstaking process of breaking and placing the lectern in hopes that our new librarian friend would get the mending trade. Keeping him on task required me to employ some arguably dubious methodology.
I'm not sure I'm okay with this.
Trust me, it's fine. Because of the sheer number of enchanted books added by various mods, it took an obscene amount of time to finally get the mending enchantment. But we got there in the end. Finally! Also, in no way did I accidentally kill the original librarian with my axe while breaking the workstation and need to replace him with an entirely different villager in a different outfit. Nope, totally the same guy. Right, buddy, you wait here and I'm gonna go and get a blank book, okay?
Sure thing, I'll be here.
See? Totally the same guy. One quick trip home for a book and I could finally get my hands on mending. I even bought a couple of extra ones for his trouble before heading over to test the printer. Right, so I give it a mending book to copy, connect it back to the tank, crank some XP through to the printer, and then chuck on an empty book. Oh, look at that! Fresh copy of mending. Right, all that's left is for me to grind up enough experience to get mending added to everything, which will be a long and boring process, so I will see you when it's done. Well, that took forever, but look at this, all of our gear and all of our tools have mending. Honestly, that feels like a massive accomplishment. Like, for the first time in a long time, we don't have to worry so much about surviving and can actually look ahead. So with that in mind, I think it's time we started sorting out this embarrassment. Of course, I'm talking about our shambolic storage situation. To that end, I've installed the Extended Drawers mod, which gives us access to all these varieties of storage drawers. Combined with upgrades, each one of these things can store thousands of an item. But the first thing we need to do, as always, is make the guidebook. For that we need a book and an upgrade frame, and for those you just need cobble and sticks. Upgrade frame, and guidebook. Best ever read of that, hadn't I? Okay, so according to the book, if I put a chest here, logs in the corners, and planks in the other 4 slots, I will get myself a drawer. There it is, so unassuming. But if I take a load of tuff, for example, I should be able to click and, yeah, transfer all that to the drawer. And then take another stack and click that into the drawer. There, 1022 blocks of tuff. All the tuff I have in this room in one spot. Of course, the question is, what happens if I break this? No way! Ha ha! That's tremendous, we can move them around. Oh, but then can we? We can. So we can have one diamond chest containing... Editor Dan, do the maths. That amount of individual items. So I guess, in theory, that means that we can keep using the basement as our storage space. But I'll be honest, I think we're outgrowing it, and the more we build and automate things, the more and more we're going to outgrow it. And these band-aid solutions aren't going to cut it long term. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this shed. But it was only supposed to be a temporary starter place, and we've lived out of it for like 6 months nearly. So in the spirit of thinking bigger, I've picked out a spot that we're going to turn into a dedicated storage facility. So let's grab the chunk eater, we can head over there and start clearing space for it. No, not the drill dozer, the chunk eater. There we go. Probably need the wrench too. So, do you remember the woodland mansion from a couple of episodes ago? Well, it's over that way. What in the world? How long has there been a meteorite the size of a small house here? It's made of skystone, apparently. Not sure what we can use it for, but we'll gather some anyway.
You're getting distracted again.
Oh yeah, right, sorry, focus. Alright, this is the spot I've decided to build the storage facility. So, Chunk Eater, do your thing. Now that is how you clear a landscape. Oh yes, look at all that space. And if we need more, we can always do another run. Right, I just popped back to the basement to grab the tuff drawer, and I think this is a good spot to finish the episode. Before next time, I'll start laying some blocks for the warehouse and probably start the boring process of moving stuff over here. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, then help us grow by subscribing and leaving us a cheeky like or a comment below. I've been Dan, this has been Voxel Tales, and remember, be good. And if you can't be good, don't get caught. Bye, guys.